Welcome to Simple English. Strong mind. Here, your words grow stronger, and so does your heart.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Simple English, Strong Mind, where we talk about strengthening relationships through meaningful conversations. I'm James, and today I'm joined by my lovely fiancée, Emily. We're excited to share our journey of maintaining a strong connection despite being miles apart.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emily, and I'm so thrilled to be here with James today. We spent almost 2 years in a long-distance relationship before we got engaged, with me in California and James in New York. That's 3 time zones and over 2,500 miles apart.
That's right. And now we're just 3 months away from our wedding. Looking back, those years of long distance were challenging, but incredibly strengthening for our relationship. Today we want to share some insights on how we maintained high-quality conversations that kept our connection strong.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest challenges in long-distance relationships is avoiding those, "How was your day? Fine. How was yours?" conversations that can become routine and empty. Would you agree, James?
Completely. Those surface-level exchanges don't really nurture our relationship. One thing that really helped us was establishing regular, dedicated time for meaningful conversations. We called them our heart-to-heart sessions.
Yes, those were so valuable. We'd set aside at least 1 hour twice a week where we would focus entirely on each other. No distractions, no multitasking. We turned off notifications, find quiet spaces, and really be present with each other.
What I loved about those sessions was that we had specific themes or questions prepared. Remember that list of conversation starters we compiled? Everything from what made you feel closest to God this week to what's a small kindness someone showed you recently?
Those questions helped us go beyond superficial chats and really share our inner worlds. I think that's so crucial in long-distance relationships. You have to be intentional about creating depth since you don't have the advantage of casual, everyday moments together.
Definitely. And speaking of being intentional, I think our shared faith played a huge role in keeping our conversations meaningful. Do you want to talk a bit about that, Emily?
I'd love to. Our faith was truly the foundation of our relationship. We made it a point to pray together during our calls, which created this beautiful sense of intimacy and shared purpose. We also did virtual Bible studies where we'd read the same passages and then discuss what they meant to us.
Those spiritual conversations were so connecting. I remember sometimes we'd spend hours discussing a single verse and how it applied to our lives. It helped us align our values and visions for the future.
And it wasn't just about the serious stuff. Faith also gave us a framework for handling conflicts in a healthy way. When we had disagreements, which definitely happened, we tried to approach them with humility and a commitment to understanding each other.
That's true. I think one particular challenge we faced was when we had different expectations about communication frequency. I was content with texting throughout the day and having longer calls a few times a week, but Emily preferred more frequent video calls.
Yes, that was tricky. I remember feeling hurt sometimes when you wouldn't respond quickly to my messages. But instead of assuming the worst or letting resentment build, we talked openly about our communication styles and needs.
And we found a compromise that worked for both of us. We established some basic communication rhythms, good morning and good night texts, a quick check-in call most days, and those deeper conversations twice a week.
Setting those expectations really helped eliminate a lot of potential misunderstandings. And something else that made a huge difference was how we use technology creatively. James, do you want to share some of the fun ways we stayed connected?
Oh, we got pretty creative. One of my favorites was our virtual movie nights. We'd pick the same film, start it at exactly the same time, and stay on video chat while watching. Those simple shared experiences felt so normal and connecting.
And remember our cooking dates, we'd decide on a recipe beforehand, get all of the ingredients, and then cook the same meal while on video chat. Then we'd sit down and eat together. It was a simple way to create shared experiences despite the distance.
Those were great. And let's not forget the care packages we'd send each other. I loved including handwritten letters that went deeper than our digital communications sometimes allowed.
Those physical reminders were so meaningful in a digital relationship. I still have all of your letters saved in a special box. They helped me feel your presence even when you weren't there physically.
I think what we're highlighting here is that high-quality conversations aren't just about the words exchanged. It's about creating contexts and experiences that foster deeper connection.
Absolutely. And I think it's worth mentioning that vulnerability played a huge role in the quality of our conversations. Being willing to share our fears, insecurities, and struggles, not just the highlights of our lives, that's what built real intimacy.
That's such an important point. In long distance, it can be tempting to present a perfect image of yourself since you only connect at scheduled times. But real connection happens when you share your authentic self. The good, the bad, and everything in between.
Exactly. And I think our faith gave us a framework for that vulnerability. We both believe that we are loved unconditionally by God, which made it easier to be real with each other.
That's so true. We knew that our relationship wasn't about impressing each other, but about growing together and supporting each other through life's journey.
James, do you want to share about one of the more challenging periods we faced? I think that might be helpful for listeners who are going through their own tough times.
Sure. There was a 3-month period when I was working on a major project at work with really long hours. Our communication really suffered during that time. I was exhausted and our calls often felt strained.
It was difficult. I remember feeling disconnected and worried about the future of our relationship. But what helped us through was being honest about the struggle instead of pretending everything was fine.
Yes, that honesty was crucial. Instead of having lengthy calls when I was too tired to be engaged, we adjusted our expectations temporarily. We focused on quality over quantity, shorter calls, but with full attention and presence.
And we got creative with asynchronous communication, sending voice messages or emails that could be listened to or read when convenient. That way we could still share our thoughts and feelings thoughtfully, just not always in real time.
That experience taught us the importance of flexibility in long-distance communication. Different seasons might require different approaches, and that's okay.
Absolutely. I think successful long-distance relationships require constant adaptation and reevaluation. What works at one point might not work later on, so you need to keep checking in about your communication patterns.
That's a great point. We actually established a monthly relationship check-in where we discuss what was working well and what could be improved in our communication. That helped prevent small issues from becoming big problems.
Those check-ins were so valuable, and they helped us practice constructive feedback in a safe, loving context. Learning to communicate about your communication. That meta skill is incredibly useful in any relationship.
Before we wrap up, I think we should address one more challenge that many long-distance couples face: maintaining emotional and physical boundaries while nurturing intimacy. This was especially important to us as a couple with shared faith values.
Yes, this is such an important topic. We decided early on that we wanted to honor our faith commitments regarding physical intimacy before marriage. But that meant we needed to be intentional about building other forms of intimacy: emotional, intellectual, and spiritual.
Exactly. We found that deep, meaningful conversations actually created a profound sense of intimacy that wasn't dependent on physical proximity. Knowing someone's mind, heart, values, and dreams, that's a different but equally powerful type of closeness.
And we were careful about the nature of our late-night conversations. We established healthy boundaries and redirected conversations when needed. Having that mutual understanding and respect was so important.
Definitely. And having accountability from friends and mentors within our faith community was helpful too. They would check in on us and encourage us in maintaining our values.
I think the key is being proactive rather than reactive. We discussed our boundaries early on and regularly revisited that conversation as our relationship deepened.
So to summarize what we've shared today, maintaining high-quality conversations in a long-distance relationship requires intentionality, creativity, vulnerability, and a willingness to adapt. Having a shared faith provided us with a strong foundation and shared values that guided our connection.
And remember, it's not about the quantity of communication, but the quality. One truly connected conversation is worth more than dozens of superficial exchanges. Be fully present when you do communicate. And don't be afraid to go deep.
We're so grateful that we can share our experience with all of you. While long distance was challenging, it truly strengthened our relationship in ways that might not have happened otherwise. It forced us to become excellent communicators before marriage.
Absolutely. And for those of you currently in a long-distance relationship, especially if you share a faith journey with your partner, remember that distance can refine and strengthen your bond if you approach it with the right mindset.
Before we go, we'd love to hear from our listeners. If you have questions about long-distance relationships or strategies that have worked for you, please share them in the comments or reach out on social media. We'd love to continue this conversation.
Yes, please do. And tune in next week when we'll be discussing how to navigate family dynamics across cultural differences. Until then, this is Emily
and James, wishing you meaningful conversations and strong connections no matter the distance between you and your loved ones. Thanks for listening to Simple English, Strong Mind.